We are together again today, great talks. Okay, we are going to discuss business paper one, written last week, Friday. So now remember, great talks, I always tell you that whenever you are dealing with business studies or even with other subjects, make sure that before you can land into any answering type of question, you should make sure that you understand all the sections and what is expected of you. And also the information and instructions should always be taken into consideration. Okay, right. So now the structure of the paper looks as follow. We have section A, of which it comprises of 30 marks questions, which are compulsory. And then we have section B. Section B, you are always given 3 questions, and expectation is to choose only 2 questions, of which one question carries 40 marks. So all in all, under section B, expectation is to answer 80 marks questions. So lastly, we have the last section, which is section C. So under this section, we have 2 questions, and expectation is to answer only one question, of which it carries 40 marks. So all in all, if you add them, then they will take you to 150. Okay, right. So now, I always encourage you guys to engage in the elimination method whenever you are dealing with the multiple choice question. So always bear that in mind. Okay, right, grade 12. So now we have question 1, and question 1 reads as follows. In particular 1.1, various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the question and write only a letter. An example is given there inside the bracket, where we have A to D next to the question number. Also, you have further given an example of 1.1.1 to 1.1.5. And the expectation is to answer this in your answer book. And the typical example is given there as a guide on how you must answer it. If you check there, we have 1.1.6 as option D. So there is a tendency of some of you guys, Kritovs, when you attempt to these multiple choice questions, you find that instead of only writing a letter, you even write the description given, of which that is totally wrong. It means that you would have failed to follow the given set of instructions and information. So in that regard, then it means you are going to score low marks, or you might be penalized. Because remember, grade 12s, following the information and instructions given on a paper, that is also part of the examination. That is why it is always apparent, or it is always very important to make sure that you follow the given set of instructions under each and every subject. Okay, right. So now we have 1.1.1. It reads as follows. This act outlines the minimum requirements for the employment contract. So now the act that we are referring to Basic Conditions of Employment Act. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question, we have 1.1.2. It reads as follows. The Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Amendment Act, 1987, Act 61 of 1997, promotes safety at the workplace. So it means our appropriate answer is going to be B. Okay, right. So now moving on to 1.1.3, it reads as follows. Social vector of the PESTLE analysis posting a challenge to Rashid companies that we have A, customers are unable to afford their products due to low income levels, B, costs involved to obtaining trading license high. So also employees are unskilled and operate new equipment. For them, it's a challenge. Okay, right. So now if you still remember, the PESTLE can be considered as one of the business strategies that businesses should always use so as to make the analysis towards its operation. So now we have we have P, of which P it stands for political. It means that businesses should always pay attention to the politics. So the moment there is political unrest, that means that businesses are going to be negatively affected. As well, the business should check the economic factor of it. Also, they must check the social of it. They must also check the available technology being used. Also, businesses should be legal. Also, the business should check the environment at which they do operate in. Okay, right. So in this regard, our appropriate answer is going to be A. Okay, right. So now with 12, let's move on to the next question. We have 1.1.4, of which it reads as follows. Businesses are required to contribute to the dash fund as a compulsory fringe benefit. Then the answer is unemployment insurance fund. Okay, right, grade 12. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question, we have 1.1.5. It reads as follows. As for limited, implement continuous skill development as a total quality management element when they are using the human resource department to address training needs. So it means our appropriate answer in this regard is going to be B. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question we have next question we have question 2. So now the question 2 that we do have, we should always make sure that we understand how to go through this set of question. Okay, right. Okay, grade 12. Okay, grade 12. Okay. So now we have landed on question 1.2. So 1.2 reads as follow. Complete the following statements by using the words provided in the list below. Write only a letter or words next to the question numbers. An example is given 1.2.1 to 1.2.5 in a answer book provided. Okay, right, grade 12. So now we have the concepts given in that grid. We have selection weaknesses, public relations, Basic Employment Act. Then we have broad-based Black Empowerment Employment Act. Okay, right. So now let's check 1.2.1. It reads as follows. Business provide dash to employees through practical training opportunities that lead to recognized qualification. This is nothing but learnership. Learnership. Okay, right, grade 12. So now moving on to the next question. Next question, we have 1.2.2. KB transport is affected by an increase in the price of fuel. This is classified as a threat to the business. Okay, right. So now moving on to 1.2.3, the dash focused only on 3 pillars, which excluded some previously disadvantaged people. This is Black economic empowerment. So now moving on to 1.2.4, it reads as for reference checks are made during the dash procedure so as to verify the content of applicants. That is nothing but selection. Okay, right, grade 12. So now moving on to the next question. Next question we have 1.2.5, it reads as follows. The dash function is responsible for providing regular press releases to all our stakeholders. So the appropriate answer here is going to be public relations. Public relations. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question we have question 1.3. And question 1.3, it reads as follow. Choose a description from column B that matches it, a term in column A. So write only a letter. An example is given there from A to J next to the question number. So also you are given a guide there 1.2.3, 1.3.1 to 1.3.5 in the provided answer book. Also, a typical example is given there. So now grade 12s always bear in mind that whenever you are answering this particular type of questions, you should always make sure that you understand the concept given in column A, as well as the description in column B. Also bear in mind that in column B, you can either be faced with the function, description, definitions, explanation, characteristics, features. So you should be flexible to that extent to make sure that you are able to identify which appropriate answer describes or gives the characteristics of whatsoever concept that appear in column A. Okay, right. So now we have 1.3.1 Consumer Protection Act, CPA 2008, Act 68 of 2008. So now our answer in this regard does promote customer safety by protecting them from hazardous products. So it means our appropriate answer in this regard is going to be A. So now we have 1.3.2 Human Resource Development Strategy. So now this is nothing but it improves the supply of skills which directly benefit the whole country. So it means here our appropriate answer is going to be H. Okay, right, grade 12. So now we have conglomerate diversification. So now this one, it does consider adding new products that are unrelated to existing products appealing to our new customers. So the appropriate answer in this regard is going to be B. Okay, right. So now moving on, grade 12 to the next question, we have 1.3.4. It does read as follow job specification. So normally job specification, it does address or describes the acceptable qualifications for a certain post. So our appropriate answer in this regard is going to be I. Okay. Lastly, we have 1.3.5, which is quality assurance. And then the appropriate answer for this one, it does aim to get the product right at the first time, meaning our appropriate answer in this regard is going to be C. Okay, right, grade 12. So now, moving on to the next question. Next question, we have section B, and then under section B, we are normally given three questions, and expectation is to answer only 2 questions, as I did explain earlier. Okay, right, grade 12. So now, when we are dealing with this particular type of questions under section B or other sections, make sure that you always pay attention to the marks allocated to each and every question, because those marks allocation, they do serve or work as a guide on how many points you are expected to indicate under each and every question. Okay, right, grade 12. So now, under this question, we have question what? Under this section, we have question 2. We are going to start with question 2. So question 2, in particular 2.1, it reads as follows: name any 4 consumer rights as stipulated in the Consumer Protection Act. So remember, consumers, they have a right to choose. They also have a right to complain, as well as having a right to privacy. And then they also have a right to fair or honest dealings. Okay, right. So now we are saying here, they have a right to choose. They also have a right to complain. Right to complain. They also have a right to privacy. Right to privacy. They also have a right to honest dealings. Honest dealings. Okay, right. So now, grade 12, let's move on to the next question. We have 2.2. It does read as follows: read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. We have best canning, which is BC. So best canning manufacturers manufactures a variety of canned foods. So BC lost customers to the main canning because their products are of a higher quality or higher standard compared to theirs. So the profitability of BC decreased due to poor management skills. So best canning borrowed money from the bank at a higher interest rate. Okay, right. So now, when we check our 2.2.1, it says code 3 challenges for BC from the scenario above, and also the second one, which is 2.2.2, it says classify BC challenges according to 3 business environments, and then we also have okay, right, grade 12. So now we have landed on question 2. So question 2, it does read as follow: name 4 consumer rights as stipulated in the Consumer Protection Act. So now we have a right to choose, we have a right to complain, we also have right to privacy or confidentiality, we as well have right to honest or fair dealings. Okay, right. So now moving on to the next question, we have 2.2. So read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. We have best scanning manufacturers manufacture a variety of canned foods. BC lost customers to Daniel Kenny because their products seem to be of a higher quality compared to them. So the profitability of BC decreased due to management skills, poor management skills. So best Kenning borrowed money from the bank at the higher interest rate. Okay, right. So now we have a sentence one, we have a sentence two, we also have sentence three, as well as a sentence 4. Okay, right. So now, if you still remember grade 12, this type of a question, it has a guide that shows you how best you can approach it. So now, the question says, in particular, 2.2.1, code 3 challenges for BC from the scenario above, and the expectation is to use the first column here, and then we also have 2.2.2 classify BC challenge according to the 3 business environments. So we answer it on column 2, and then as well we have the state of control with each and every challenge has over the business environment. So we use the last column. Okay, right. So now use the table below as a guide to answer this question. I know most of you grade 12s, when it comes to using a table as a guide, some of you fail to adhere to that part of the exam instructions, of which if you fail to do that, sometimes or you may find that you lose marks unnecessarily, or you score low marks unnecessarily. Okay, right. So now if we check, we have what? If we check, we have question 2.2 point 1 up until 2.2.3, and then we are going to use this to answer them. Okay, right. So now the challenge, I'm going to take the challenge as sentence 2. So sentence, we have sentence 2. So now make sure that grade 12s, whenever you answer this particular type of a question, you should always write full sentences. So that is why I'm saying sentences from 1 to 4. Write full. Why write full? Because a word says code. So the expectation is to write full sentence. Okay, right. So now we have sentence 2, where it says BC lost customers. Lost customers to Denim Canning because their products are of a higher quality. So it means this is market environment. Okay, right. So now moving on to the third sentence, we have the profitability of the business of BC decreased due to poor management skills. So it means that this is the problem inside the business, which is micro. Also, we have BC borrowed money from the bank at the higher interest rate. So this is the macro economy. So now, I mean the micro environment, sorry. So now let's check the extent of control under each and every challenge that this business is facing. So now if we check on the market, the extent of control is going to be semi control. And then also under micro, we have a full control. And then under macro, there's no control at all. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question, we have 2.3. So 2.3, it does read as follow. Explain the rights of employees in terms of Labor Relations Act 1995, Act 66 of 1995. So now, the rights of the employer, we have to check here, because it can be tricky, because this regulation, it caters for the rights of the employers as well as the rights of the employees. So that is why you guys, grade 12s, you should always be vigilant. Whether the question wants you to give up rights on the side of the employees or rights on the side of the employers. So now, under the side of the employers, So now we can actually say that this form employer organization also it forms a bargaining council for collective bargaining purposes. So now we are saying that this form employer organization, they have a right to form employer organization. That is one of the rights of the employer. So now also they have a right to form bargaining, a right to form bargaining, a right to form bargaining council, right to form bargaining council for collective purposes, collective bargaining purposes, collective bargaining purposes. Okay, right, great talks. So now let's move on to the next question. We have 2.4, and it does read as follows: discuss the purpose of the Employment Equity Act. So 1990 Act, of which this is Act 55 of 1998. Okay, right, grade 12. So one of the purposes is that it does ensure equal representation of all population groups in the workplace. Also, it allows employees who do the same work to be paid equally. Allows employees who do the same work to be paid equally. Okay, right. So now the next one, we're saying that it ensures equal representation of all population groups in the workplace. Okay, right, great house. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question, we have 2.5, and 2.5 it does read as follow. Bears Toys, BT. So BT is experiencing a decline in sales due to decrease in the demand for their products. So they sold some unproductive assets to pay off their debts. BT also evaluated the effectiveness of their chosen strategy. So now the question says, identify the type of defensive strategy applied by BT. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. So now if we check here, the business is dividing itself from shutting down. So now there are different strategies that business can actually engage in so as not to close down or become insolvent. So now one of those strategies that we have the divestment that is actually shown here. We have divestment. We have divestment. And then if we check, the question says what? The question says motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario. So now let's check. We have sentence 1. We also have sentence 2 and sentence 3. So now if we check here, this investment goes together with they sold some unproductive assets to pay off their debts. So it means here you write this sentence exactly the way it is. So now you write sentence number 2. Okay, right, or sentence 2. So let's move on to the next question. We have 2.5.2. Advise businesses on the steps in strategy evaluation. So now the steps that they have here, they must decide on the desired outcome. Also, they must set specific dates for control and follow-ups. We are saying here businesses should make sure that they decide decide on the desired outcome. How do they want to achieve? Also, they should make sure that they set specific dates for control and some follow-ups. Control and follow-ups. Okay, right, great tops. So now let's move on to the next question. The next question we have 2.6, and 2.6 it does read as follow. 2.6 explain the implications of two pillars of the broad-based Black Economic Empowerment Act, Act 53 of 2003 on the businesses. If you still remember, the broad-based Black Economic Empowerment is one of the legislations that have been established by South Africa so as to accommodate Black people who were actually previously disadvantaged. So now there are different pillars under this act. We have pillars such as ownership. We also have pillars such as supply and business enterprise. We also have pillar as management control. Also have a pillar as skills and development. Okay, right. So now I'm going to take the management control and skills development, and I'll give the implication for those two. So now this is our 2.6. So I'm going to take management control, and also I'm going to take skills development. So you're saying that under management control, it does involve Black people in the decision-making process, involves Black people in the decision-making process. Okay, right. So now let's check our skills development. The implication is that provide learnerships and learning programs to Black employees. Provide learnerships. Provide learnerships and learning programs to Black employees. Black employees, right? So now let's move on to the next question. We have question 2.7. Question 2.7. It needs to recommend ways in which businesses can deal with the challenges that are posted by the economic vectors of the PESTLE analysis. So now one of the challenges is that borrow money from financial institutions when interest rates are favorable. So must borrow money from financial institution, where the interest rate, or when the interest rate is favorable. Okay, right. Also, they should make sure that they consider exchange rates when trading with other countries. Consider the exchange rate when trading with other countries. Okay, right. Right, great, tough. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question, we have question 3. So now under question 3, it says state for aspects that should be included in the employment conduct. So now we're actually discussing 3.1. So one of them is that there should be job title or position. There should also be job description. Also, there should be job specification. Also, hours of work should be indicated. Okay, right. So we are saying that there should be hours of work. Hours of work. How long are you going to work per day? So also we have job title should also be indicated. We also have a job specification. Job specification. And then you also have a job description. Okay, right, grade 12. So now moving on to the next question, we have 3.2. It reads as follows: outline the difference between piecemeal and time-related. So now under piecemeal, employers normally pay the salaries of the employees based on the number of units produced, while under time-related, employers normally pay the employees according to time or according to hours that have been worked or spent at the workplace. So now we are saying that this one, they check number of units produced, number of units produced by a worker. So here they check time in hours spent at the workplace. Spent at the workplace. So now here they take into account time, while here they take into account units, here hours. Okay, right. So now let's move on to the next question. The next question reads as follows. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. So Zamo Traders has a vacant position for a store manager. MT advertised the vacancy in the newspapers. They invited shortlisted candidates for an interview. So now the question reads in particular 3.3.1, name the method of recruitment used by MT because of doing the adverts under local newspapers that is outside the business premises, which is external recruitment. So now elaborate on the role of the interviewee, during the interview. So now most of you grade 12s, you normally make a mistake when you give the role here. The role is to listen attentively, listen properly, and ask questions where needed. Also, an interviewee should avoid addressing a person, but rather a question. Okay, right. So now let's move on to the next question. We have 3.4. Discuss the impact of fringe benefits on businesses. So now if we check the discussion of the fringe benefits on businesses, so we are actually going to check that these are fringe benefits. Normally, they improve productivity, resulting in higher profitability. Also, businesses save money on benefits since these benefits are tax deductible. Okay, right. So now we are saying that one of the benefits is that it improves productivity, . resulting in higher profitability. Ability. Then also we said that businesses save money as benefits are tax deductible. Okay. Okay, right. So now let's move on to the next question, grade 12. The next question that we are faced with 3.5. And 3.5 reads as follows: elaborate on the meaning of quality control. So now quality control, when you talk of quality control is when an inspection of the product is being done on the final product to ensure the required standard has been met. So inspection is made on the final product, made on the final product, the final product to ensure required standard. Okay, since it's 4 marks, the expectation is to come up with two points. So another point can be it includes setting targets. It includes setting targets, measuring performance, and taking corrective measures. So we are saying that the last one, it includes setting targets or measuring performance and taking corrective measures. Okay, right. So now we have to give 2 points because of 4 marks allocation. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next question. We have 3.6. Explain how quality performance of the production function can contribute to the success of the business. Number one, it does develop or implement or monitor effective strategic plans, also set directions and establish priorities for the businesses. So we are saying that develops or implement or monitor effective strategic plans. And also we said that set directions and establish priorities for the business. Okay, right. So now let's move on to 3.7. 3.7, it does read as follow. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. So VLE Limited, so VL manufactures electrical components, also have sector. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. It says identify the leave provision as stipulated in the basic conditions of Employment Act applicable to TD accountants in each statement below. So now we have 4.2.1. It reads as follows: employees receive a maximum of 5 days leave in the event of death of a close relative. So this is nothing but family responsibility leave. This is family responsibility leave. And then medical certificates must be submitted by employees when absent from work for more than 2 consecutive days due to illness. This is nothing but sick leave. Okay, right. So now let's move on to the next question. Grade 12, we have 4.3, and 4.3 reads as follows. Explain how the sector electoral and training authority are actually funded, how this sector is funded. So if you still remember, grade 12, sector normally it's funded by what is funded by donations and grants from the public, also funds received from rendering their services. So we are saying that one of the funds is that donations and grants, donations and grants from the public, also by funds received from rendering their services. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question, we have 4.4. It does read as follows. Discuss any two types of integration strategy. So under these types of integration strategy, remember we have three of them. We have forward integration strategy, backward integration strategy, and horizontal integration strategy. So I'm going to explain forward integration strategy. We have forward, and also I'm going to explain backward. So now under forward, here under forward, that's where now the business combines with or take over its distributors. Here, business takes over or combines with its distributors. Also, we have backward. Here under backward, the business combines with or take over its suppliers. Here, the business takes over or combines with its suppliers. So this one is backward integration strategy. Okay, right. So now let's move on to the next question. We have 4.5, advise businesses on ways in which they can comply with the National Credit Act. So now businesses should offer applicants a pre-agreement statement. Also, they must obtain credit records or check of the clients before they give out a loan. So we are saying that here, it should be what? They should be offer applicants pre-agreement statement. Okay, right, grade 12. Also, we are saying that here, it must obtain credit records or checks of clients before handing them loans. Okay, right. So now grade 12, let's move on to 4.6. Outline the purpose of induction. So induction normally improves the skills through in-service training. Also, it gives new employees a tour about the or around the layout of the business. So we are saying that it does improve here. Improves skills through in-service training So also we are saying that gives new employee or new employees a tour around the business premises. Okay, right. So now let's move on to 4.7. 4.7 says explain the placement procedure as a human resource activity. So here we are going to say that employer or employers should outline specific responsibilities of their employees. Employers should outline specific responsibilities of new employees, responsibilities of new employees. Remember, we are actually guided by the marks allocated for each and every question. 2 marks, it means 1 point. 4 marks, it means 2 points. Always bear that in mind. 3 marks, sometimes it means but in most cases, 6 marks you are expected to come up with 3 points, unless otherwise. Okay, right. So now let's check what. Let's check 4.8. Read the scenario below and answer the questions that follow. Unique boutique. So Unique Boutique is well known for their good quality management system. UB increases their productivity through proper time management. Management holds annual general meetings with all external stakeholders. They conduct regular training to improve the quality of employee skills. So we have 4.8.1, good to benefits of a good quality management system from the scenario above. If you still remember, whenever the question says code, the expectation is to write the sentence as it is. It should be a full sentence. So we have sentence 1, we have sentence 2, we have sentence 3, and then we have sentence 4. So now when we code in this regard, we are going to have sentence 2 and sentence 4. So sentence 2, it reads as follows: UB increases their productivity through proper time management. Also, our sentence 4 reads as follows: they conduct regular training to improve the quality of employee skills. So that is the benefits of quality, good quality management system that appear in the scenario above. Okay, right. So now, grade 12, let's check our 4.8.2 explain other benefits of a good quality management system. So now other benefits is that vision or mission or business goals may be achieved easily. Also, time and resources are used efficiently. So we are saying that time and resources, time and other resources are used efficiently. Okay, right. And also we are saying that the vision, mission, or business goals may be achieved. Okay, right. So now let's move on to 4.7. It reads as follows: suggest ways in which total quality management can actually reduce the cost of quality. So now this can reduce the cost of quality if schedule activities to eliminate duplication of task, or if activities actually being scheduled so as to eliminate duplication of the task, and also share responsibility for quality output amongst the management and workers. So now we are saying that here schedule activities, eliminate duplication of tasks. And also saying that share responsibility for quality output, balanced management, and workers. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. The next question we have section C. So now at this juncture we are done with section B. Now let's move on to the next session, which is section C. So grade 12, if you still remember, whenever you are dealing with section C, you are always given what? You are always given 2 questions, and the expectation is only to answer 1 question of 40 marks. Okay, right. So now we are going to start with question 5. So now remember, grade 12s, whenever you are writing an essay under business studies, even in economics, we don't write paragraphs, but we write bullets. We structure our arguments using a bulleting format. Okay, right. So now already we have these 4 points, and these 4 points, they are going to build our body in that essay. It means that under each and every subheading, we are expected to write the points. So all of these subheadings, they should appear under or inside your essay. So what you do here, you provide with an introduction. So also we have a conclusion. So it means that in your body, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 subheadings. So under those subheadings, then that's where now you start answering, or you start outlining your arguments. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's check under this introduction. That's when you are going to give the description. You are going to give the description of what is this business strategies. You are going to give description of business strategies. What does this business strategies mean? So now, in short, when we talk of the business strategy we refer to a method or style that businesses normally apply so as to achieve its vision as well as mission. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the question that says outline. So it means we are done with our introduction. Remember, introduction, the expectation is to give 2 points. So now let's come to our body part. The question that we have to address says outline the strategic management processes. So now if we check the strategic management processes, we must always make sure that there's a review, or the review of the vision statement is always taken into account. Also, businesses should make sure that they analyze our mission statement, and also businesses should make sure that they formulate a strategy that they are going to apply in that particular operation. Also, the business should make sure that after formulation of the strategy, implementation should actually take place. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the second bullet, or subheading, where it says explain how businesses could apply the flowing forces of POTAS 5 model as to analyze their position in the market environment. Okay, right, grade 12. So now this this aspect of vector, they do have particular influence under the operation of the business. So now let's check the power of the customers, or the power of the buyers. So now the business should always make sure that they assess how easy it is for their buyers or customers to drive down their price levels. So now it is always very important or very advisable for businesses to make sure that they assess if their customers can have the potential to drive down the prices of their product or the prices of the services that they normally provide. Okay, right. So now let's check the power of the competitors. So now remember, it is always very healthy for the businesses to always engage in competition, as outlined in the South African Competition Act, because South African Competition Act, it does says no to coalition. It means that it promotes businesses from competing, because the moment businesses engage into coalition, it means that now customers are going to be disadvantaged. How are they going to be disadvantaged? They're going to be disadvantaged because now they're no longer going to have a broader base of a variety of products to choose from. As well, the quality of the product is not going to be that charming, because now you find that businesses have joint venture. No business is having a fear that another business might take away the customers. Okay, right. So now it is always advisable that competitors have the inside product, then they have greater power over you. So now here we check the quality of the product. The moment the competitors sell products of higher quality more than your business, it means that chances are very broad that customers are going to prefer to go to their businesses instead of coming to your business. Why? Because in most cases, customers prefer to buy the product over a higher quality. Okay, right. So now let's check the next question. We have discussed 3 types of intensive strategy. So now these strategies that we are going to discuss, we have market penetration. We have market penetration. We also have market development. And lastly, we have product development. So now these are the types of intensive strategies. And these are intensive strategies. They are normally applied by a different set of businesses whenever they want to improve or they want to widen their profit margins. Okay, right. So now when we talk of the market penetration, so this strategy, businesses normally can apply these strategies when it is new in the market. So now they see that, okay, we want our product to be well known, so that the moment our product is well known, then we are going to have the larger base or the larger mass of customers. So now it means that now what they are going to do, the moment they start operation in that particular market, they are going to start selling their products or rendering their services with lesser amount. They know very well that the moment they provide their services or they render their services with lesser amount, that means that the customers are now going to come to them to buy, and they are going to be ensure that this business is now in operation. So it means that now that business is going to be known. So the moment this business is known now and they have what attracted a lot of customers, that's when now they should adapt to adjustment of the prices. They can adjust their prices up because they are already known. So that's how businesses normally penetrate the market. So now let's check market development. Market development in this regard, it means that the business is already having the product that is selling. Also, it is already having the service that is rendering. But now it is going to what? It is going to look for new customers. So in this regard, it means that the business is going to sell the existing product in a new market or new customers. So now let's move on to the next one, the next strategy, which is product development. So product development, as the phrase says, it means that in this regard, the business, the business is selling a new product in an existing market. The market is already existing, but the product is new. Okay, right. So remember, as I said earlier, grade 12, businesses normally apply these intensive strategies whenever they want to maximize the collection of profits. Okay, right. Now let's move on to the next question. The next question we have advise businesses on the advantages of diversification strategies. Okay, also when we talk of the diversification strategy, diversification is when you try by all means to put or place your eggs in different set of baskets. Why are you doing that? Because you don't want them to get spoiled, all of them at the same time. So you are trying to maximize the safety. So now under business context or content, when we talk of diversification strategy, it means that businesses normally apply this type of strategies whenever they want to maximize profits collection, whenever they also want to maximize their selling price. Okay, right, grade 12s. So now let's advise businesses on the advantages of this diversification strategies. So now diversification strategy normally increase sales and businesses grow fast. So now also these strategies can improve the business brand and image. It means that now this business can be well known locally, even in other countries. So in that regard, the business is going to gain global competitiveness. Okay, right. So now let's conclude grade 12. So now since we have already discussed our bullets, now we must conclude. And remember, when you conclude grade 12, it's either you go big or go back home. Here, under business studies, remember the conclusion carries 2 marks. It's either you score that 2 marks full of it or you get 0. There's no way that you'll be allocated 1. Okay, right. Then also make sure that grade 12, whatsoever points you are going to outline under your conclusion, you haven't indicated them anywhere on your body part. Okay, right. So now under our conclusion, we can say businesses should always take corrective actions or measures to ensure that their set objectives or their set goals are easily achieved or they're actually met. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. The next question that we have question 6. Okay, right, grade 12. As I did say earlier, that the structure of the essay under business studies is straightforward because you're actually being guided by these four bullets. So these 4 bullets, it means each and every bullet is going to have what? The subheading. So now we are only going to provide with our introduction, and also remember introduction, that's where now you must write the definition of the concept and the study. So now in this regard, we can define what we call quality management under introduction, and we can say that quality management normally it's where accountability within each and of the business functions is accommodated. We are saying that this is accountability within each of the business functions are actually taken into account. Okay, right. So now let's move on to the body part. The body part, if you still remember grade 12, I told you that each and every subheading builds our body part. So now here we are going to distinguish between the quality management and the quality of performance. So now when we talk of the quality management under this regard, we check the techniques or tools used to design or improve the quality of the product. So here we check tools or techniques used to achieve the quality of the product. But when it comes to quality performance, we check performance per department, performance per each and every business department. Okay, right. So now, grade 12, let's move on to the next bullet. We have to explain how businesses can apply the PDCA model steps to improve the quality of their product. So now, grade 12, if you still remember, P stands for plan, and D stands for do, and also we have C stands for check, and then also we have A, which stands for an act or an action. Okay, right. So now let's check how plan can actually be approached. So when it comes to plan, business should identify a problem. The business should always identify a problem. They must plan and identify a problem. So now, when it comes to the business should implement the processes and systems. So that's what we're actually referring to when we say business do. And also we have a check. So it means that business should always use data to analyze the results of a change. So now whenever the business uses data to analyze the results of a change, then we categorize that under check. So we also have action. So now action is the last one. So action, that's where the business should continuously revise its processes. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next bullet. We have the question that reads, discuss the impact of total quality management if poorly implemented. Grade 12, if you still remember this question, almost in each and every question paper of business studies, this question is always there. So it means that it is so important for you, grade 12s, to always equip yourself with strategies or steps or methods or styles on how best you can actually approach this question. Because the moment you don't understand this question, it means that you will score low marks, because it does appear almost in each and every question paper. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's share. So now if what the total quality management is poorly implemented, it means that there will be setting unrealistic deadlines that may not be achieved. And then also it means there will be a decline in productivity because of a stop age. Okay, right. So now let's check how best we can advise businesses on the quality indicators of the following functions. We have the marketing function. Grade 12, remember, when we talk of these functions, we normally refer to departments in the business. So it means here we are addressing the department of marketing as well as the department of administration. So now let's check under marketing function. Under marketing function, we are saying that this increasing the market share. This increase what increase the market share, and also constantly reviewing value issues. So you are saying that they should always constantly reviewing value issues, reviewing value issues. And also under administration, we're saying that they should use modern technology efficiently. They must know how to handle modern technology, because technology now, it plays a major role as we speak now. That's where now, if businesses are not getting along with the current use of technology, it means that now it is going to be a challenge for that particular business to make profit or become successful. Because remember, grade 12, under economics, under business studies, when we say business is successful, we refer to nothing but attainment of profit. Okay, right. Now under administration function, we are saying that businesses should use modern technology, and also we are saying that they should handle complaints quickly and effectively. Whenever there is a complaint, that complaint should be addressed in a quick manner, and also it should be addressed effectively. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to our conclusion. Remember, I told you that whenever you conclude, you should make sure that the points that you are going to touch on under your conclusion, you haven't listed them anywhere under your body part or your introduction. So now when we conclude here, we can actually say that businesses should always set targets. They should always set targets or measuring performance so as to making sure that they take corrective measures. I'll go again. I'm saying that businesses under this regard should always set targets or measuring performance and taking corrective decision. So that is our conclusion. So grade 12s, at this juncture, I would love to say thank you very much. Surely you enjoyed the lesson. Okay, right, grade 12s. We are together again today, grade 12s. Okay, we are going to discuss business paper one, written last week, Friday. So now remember, grade 12s, I always tell you that whenever you are dealing with business studies or even with other subjects, make sure that before you can land into any answering type of question, you should make sure that you understand all the sections and what is expected of you. And also the information and instructions should always be taken into consideration. Okay, right. So now the structure of the paper looks as follow. We have section A, of which it comprises of 30 marks questions, which are compulsory. And then we have section B. Section B, you are always given 3 questions, and expectation is to choose only 2 questions, of which one question carries 40 marks. So all in all, under section B, expectation is to answer 80 marks questions. So lastly, we have the last section, which is section C. So under this section, we have 2 questions, and expectation is to answer only one question, of which it carries 40 marks. So all in all, if you add them, then they will take you to 150. Okay, right. So now, I always encourage you guys to engage in the elimination method whenever you are dealing with the multiple choice question. So always bear that in mind. Okay, right, grade 12. So now we have question 1, and question 1 reads as follows. In particular 1.1, various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the question and write only a letter. An example is given there inside the bracket, where we have A to D next to the question number. Also, you are further given an example of 1.1.1 to 1.1.5. And the expectation is to answer this in your answer book. And the typical example is given there as a guide on how you must answer it. If you check there, we have 1.1.6 as option D. So there is a tendency of some of you guys, grade 12s, when you attempt to these multiple choice questions, you find that instead of only writing a letter, you even write the description given, of which that is totally wrong. It means that you would have failed to follow the given set of instructions and information. So in that regard, then it means you are going to score low marks, or you might be penalized. Because remember, grade 12s, following the information and instructions given on a paper, that is also part of the examination. That is why it is always apparent, or it is always very important to make sure that you follow the given set of instructions under each and every subject. Okay, right. So now we have 1.1.1. It reads as follows. This act outlines the minimum requirements for the employment contract. So now the act that we are referring to Basic Conditions of Employment Act. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question, we have 1.1.2. It reads as follows. The Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Amendment Act, 1987, Act 61 of 1997, promotes safety at the workplace. So it means our appropriate answer is going to be B. Okay, right. So now moving on to 1.1.3, it reads as follows. A social vector of the PESTLE analysis posting a challenge to Rashid companies that we have A, customers are unable to afford their products due to low income levels, B, costs involved to obtaining training license high, so also employees are unskilled and operate new equipment. For them, it's a challenge. Okay, right. So now if you still remember, the PESTLE can be considered as one of the business strategies that businesses should always use so as to make the analysis towards its operation. So now we have we have P, of which P it stands for political. It means that businesses should always pay attention to the politics. So the moment there is political unrest, that means that businesses are going to be negatively affected. As well, the business should check the economic factor of it. Also, they must check the social of it. They must also check the available technology being used. Also, businesses should be legal. Also, the business should check the environment at which they do operate in. Okay, right. So in this regard, our appropriate answer is going to be A. Okay, right. So now, B12, let's move on to the next question. We have 1.1.4, of which it reads as follows. Businesses are required to contribute to the Dash Fund as a compulsory fringe benefit. Then the answer is unemployment insurance fund. Okay, right, grade 12. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question, we have 1.1.5. It reads as follows. As for limited, implement continuous skill development as a total quality management element when they are using the human resource department to address training needs. So it means our appropriate answer in this regard is going to be B. Okay, right, grade 12. So now let's move on to the next question. Next question we have next question we have question 2. So now the question 2 that we do have, we should always make sure that we understand how to go through this set of question. Okay, right. Okay, grade 12.